What's going on, Jay?
Hey.
Let's find out who did it. Who do you think killed Murkrow?
Murkrow?
Yeah.
I think the only person, because Kyoko seemed like she didn't know what was going on, because she had to go inspect the body herself as well. That's why she took so long to get to the elevator.
Right.
So I would think it's Toko that did something. I don't know, because it had to have been somebody that knew about the bomb.
Right.
And Toko was the only one that went somewhere by herself.
Let's see.
Yeah, let's see. I'm probably completely wrong. I did it.
Well, Makoto doesn't know if he did it or not.
Yeah.
He didn't do it or not.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the Blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost!
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
Okay.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
One important trait that Kyoko has that proves the body doesn't belong to her is...
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Is he smug about that?
Oh! You know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
There's no way the corpse was Kyoko. If I can't prove why, that we're gonna be stuck here in the case, and the case won't move forward. So I don't have any choice but to... Okay. Make your argument. Okay, tattoo on the right hand.
Do that nail.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it.
You hold it
Prove
down,
she's
you
not a ghost.
Swap.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion
Okay,
is
so it's
idiotic.
nails.
That
Kyoko there. Okay, then prove
The dead body
they got burnt up.
Then she was wearing...
well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic. That Kyoko. Okay, then prove
The dead body
they got burnt up.
Then she was wearing gloves.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
No, that's wrong.
No, it's wrong. I love that. No, it's wrong.
No, there's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life.
Huh.
If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim?
I love that.
First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there.
Ooh, like that. 4, 5, 6 seconds. Cool.
Yeah. Sprinklers exploded body on his right hand.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Oh, no.
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
So
Kyoko
no, it
really
wouldn't be
is
tattooing
still
right
alive.
now. It'd be just that, right?
Who died?
No.
I don't think so.
So if there was anything on the file that we could
And there
use.
wasn't
Oh.
any description in the Monokuma.
Is that what she said?
Yep, we
Can't
can't
identify the body.
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
try to snipe it.
Yeah, I always try to snipe it.
If Kyoko really
Just
who
speedrun
died?
it.
Gotta be I don't think so. The fate, and there wasn't any description. Oh, if we can't identify the body.
Then there's nothing else we can
Oh,
do.
you just
Did I miss
missed it? Yeah. I imagine the speedrun tech of this game is learning where
And there wasn't any description.
stuff pops up.
What am I doing?
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
Like, that's probably why the PC game is the one you run.
And there wasn't
I
any
bet the
description in
cursor
For the mouse is.
Identify the body.
Ooh, got it this one.
I didn't mean to snipe it, but
Got it. See, that's the key. Don't try to snipe it.
I know, right?
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real? If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
What do the chickens have to do with this?
That's I don't know. I forget.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto.
The chicken is the
Tell us
murderer.
what you're talking
I know,
about.
right?
The chicken is the mastermind.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog? Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Seriously? You really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
If you compare the tattoo to other information we have, the victim's identity should be clear. Okay. No. There we go. No. No. What is it? Is it Byakuya's account?
No, it's Ruko's profile.
I got it!
Okay. I was looking for something related to the.
That's the
Yeah,
name of the military group
Yeah.
Mukuro
It's been-
Ikusaba belonged to.
But I was
Looking
looking
for
for.
like the file.
Yeah, I was looking for
Fender
like the
file.
archive.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is the wolf. Oh,
Dog of War. World. Oof, easy.
Now I understand.
now I understand.
It's all 2 letters.
Yeah.
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir,
A wolf.
the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means
She's over 18.
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a coup last trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
Okay.
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time, and when she finally turns up, she gets killed. Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope! There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on what he knows, there can only be two suspects.
I got it!
I got it!
You
Me!
narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
Oh.
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
So the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. Damn it, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
So what time was the body discovered? It was 9 o'clock.
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Oh, so what time is it? Oh, we left the gym. It'll be 9 o'clock on the dot. Okay, we'll get the pickaxe and be back here at 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. and I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. till 7 a.m. Okay, it looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, then I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden. Well, the body was dry, so it happened after 7:30. So, sprinklers.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would
Okay.
be the time.
There's only one, right?
So it's the 7:30 thing that Hina said.
We've established a time that took place somewhere between 9 o'clock. Yep.
And Makoto doesn't have it.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
I was like, what? What the heck?
Shoot!
Okay, so that's not
We've
it.
established a time frame for the murder.
Body analysis.
It took
Pregnant
place
against
somewhere
dead body.
between 10 o'clock at night
Oh, do I
and
have
9
to save
o'clock
something
in
then?
the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi.
Yeah, from 10 to 7:30.
That's more than enough time.
Time to commit murder. So
Maybe
Makoto,
it's
if you
7:30?
have any objections, now would be the time.
Save 7:30 and hit the 10 o'clock with it?
We've established a time that took place somewhere between 9 o'clock.
In the
How do
morning.
I use
Yep.
this?
Oh,
And Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of
it's
that
hold
time.
square.
Yeah, from 10
Triangle.
o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough.
Enough time to
Yeah,
commit.
because he
So
said
Makoto, if you have
between
any objections,
it
now
could happen
would be the
between
time.
9 and this.
Oh, it's not. Well, it didn't happen.
But
between-
you can't
Established a time frame
because
For the murder,
It took
it would've
place
got wet
somewhere
with the
between
sprinklers.
10 o'clock at night
What?
Shoot.
Shoot!
Okay, I think it's
We've
sprinklers and
established
10
a time
a.m.
frame. It took place somewhere between 10
Whatever.
No, it's wrong!
Because the sprinklers go off at 7.
So I would have thought 7:30 would have been out.
Actually,
Whatever.
the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on! I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you speak such a
The
deep
mouth
words?
down south.
I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you better tell us why!
To prove that it was the sprinkler that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with a certain evidence, and if you look at the body itself, you should make it clear.
Bullet time battle?
Is it? Okay.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! How can you say it wasn't the...
This should prove it.
Garner twin tail.
I know. This should prove it.
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because... while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really did be good.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
It was the only one without an alibi. Which would mean that Murkro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone?
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Okay. Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
Certain something at the scene that was used to cover the body could have been the tarp.
Yeah.
The tarp was hidden.
I got it!
I got it.
You're talking about the
Incriminating
tarp,
himself.
aren't you?
I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, Kyoko.
You catch on quick. You're right. All you have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Oh. Well, why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. The tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? There's no blood. But the body.
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
Can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said.
You know, it'd been tight if it would have been when she rebutted you. If it would have did the Makoto thing, but with her.
Oh, that would've been cool. Body before the explosion.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
I think it's that one.
So the reason that is because the spring, but the underside of it was totally spotless.
It's because that side was protected from, since it was facing down toward the, of course it didn't get dirty.
Oh, I got it.
No, it's moved back.
Yeah.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
Okay.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Okay. The blood was counted.
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
Okay.
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
The chicken.
Ooh.
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office.
Did you not remember?
I didn't remember. That's a good one.
That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Yep. Right there in the garden, right? There must have been the freaking chicken.
I got it!
That's a good one.
Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
Chicken butt?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So,
Yeah.
you're saying
So it couldn't have been
someone
Hakagure
killed
because
a chicken?
he loves
And then
chicken.
covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, There's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that
Maybe the
still
body in
doesn't
the-
make sense.
The fire?
You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no.
It was
The head
backwards.
was through the neck hole,
Yeah.
but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no, I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
And the suspicion falls back on me again. Why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Disguised dead body has been added to truth bullets. Oh.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Oh, listen, more important. Now that we got this knife, what are we gonna do with it?
We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do.
I don't want it anyway. Huh, so... Oh,
So what do we do?
why don't you hang on to it, Makoto?
Huh? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure for what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. guy's dead body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body. It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
Okay.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Exploded body analysis. That's what it is.
Monokuma file.
The Monokuma file.
Usually you would say Monokuma file. I don't know why I changed it.
The knife we found lodged. It's the same one. It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that seals it. Just because that automatically makes me...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
Shoot!
The knife we found lodged in the dead body. It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
This guy's
It
dead
really
body.
is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that seals it. Just because I had that automatic...
Well, getting stabbed, so there's no question. You took that knife of your...
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Okay, I don't think it's a scam. I think it's
The knife
this guy's
we
dead
found
body.
lodged. It's the same
It's
one.
another
It
disguise.
really is, isn't it?
I think the knife was put in
If he did
after
have
it
that
was
knife
already dead.
before, that seals it. Look, just because I had the knife, that automatically...
Well,
Getting stabbed is what killed
No, it's wrong.
No, you're wrong. Akaguri.
Stupid.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right?
Oh,
Yeah, so it was stabbed
coat
all the way through.
and then stabbed
In
through.
other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition of her body was written down and everyone to see. Wait, what? Is it Monokuma file? The exact condition of the body was written down for everyone. Oh yeah, Monokuma file.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah,
Stabbed
you
the same
did. Totally forgot about that.
Then the knife.
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing.
Poor
The
Toko.
explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion!
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
There's only one explanation I can think of for the explosion. Is it the fragments? There's no thing for bomb?
Well, the fragments were the bomb.
Yeah.
I got it! after the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
It says cuz.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
She's still smug. Wait,
Hold on
happy.
a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate. What? It's in the Monokuma file. She was hit in the head. Okay.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion
that was
didn't
it,
kill
I
her
think.
for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already...
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other...
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
The knife was a cover-up and all of those other wounds on her body weren't fresh. Only leaves.
Then, shall we continue the
Yes,
The
please.
victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined,
that.
correct?
The explosion
Was that
didn't
one?
kill her for sure.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't me because of the... There's a...
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that...
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire
Okay,
body.
I think it's that last one.
Then, shall we continue?
The victim's
We'll try
fatal
this one.
injury has yet to be determined, correct?
No, I think you have to
Scan something?
scan it. Mike,
Oh, okay.
shoot! What you got? Two more chances.
Then, shall we
Continue the debate.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't me because...
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence...
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
At least that doesn't hurt your heart meter.
Then, shall we continue? The victim's fatal...
The explosion didn't kill...
Well, yeah.
Oh, did I not scan the
And
thing
it
again?
wasn't me because of... There's only...
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire... Then, shall we continue?
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be
The
determined.
explosion didn't kill...
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't me...
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was...
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
It was the thing blocked it again, huh?
Then, shall we continue the
The debate?
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
The explosion didn't kill...
Well,
I guess you don't need a
And it
freaking
wasn't
totally on
me...
it. Totally on it.
That's gotta be it. There was...
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Shoot.
Go look at the evidence.
Then, shall we
Let's
continue?
Read wrong. Due to the explosion, we didn't know. However, therefore, glass victim stabbed at the same time with knife and point pieces. So that it also been struck in the head with an object when it didn't
The body was covered with other wounds, but those were several days old. Okay.
Continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to... That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Okay, that's not it either.
Shoot!
Okay, so we definitely have to scan something, right?
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right?
Oh, it is.
There's only one other thing.
Do I look it up?
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Do I have the right scan?
Yeah.
According to the Monokuma file, that's
This-
gotta be it. There
this
was
one?
evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Is it Monokuma file? Oh, what? Did I lose? I lost.
This is too bad. It's our first fail, huh?
Yeah, that's the first time we failed in the game. Oh, I guess I should have read it, huh?
Yeah, that's fine.
I refuse to give up yet.
Says absorb bullet. Oh, word different. I got it reversed.
Then shall we continue?
Continue the debate.
Oh,
The victim's
this
fatal.
one.
The explosion didn't
In the
hit
back of her head.
and it wasn't
Fatal.
even there's
Oh, yeah.
The fatal.
That's gotta be it.
Oops, wrong button.
There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across
That's a
her
hard one.
entire body.
Yeah, that one's
That's a
a
rough
tricky one.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
There.
No, it's wrong.
Jesus. That was a tough one. I think that's like, what, the first one we looked up? Of
The
those.
girl died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all
It's
over
a
the
rough
rest
case.
of her body?
Yeah.
Think about
They
it.
didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon? The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe.
No.
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
Then that's wood.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
Because she's all like happy about it.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
A real murder weapon? Fake nails. No, no. It wasn't that.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a crazy one.
Is it Monokuma's account?
No. Want me to tell you? It's a good one. It's really combining two pieces of evidence.
What, the blow to the head? No, that's not one of it?
I mean, yeah, it is. But it's not the piece of evidence that they're combined.
It's not this, right?
I don't know.
Damn arrows.
What's under it?
Duct tape?
She was hit with a metal pipe.
Oh, bunch of them together, bundled up.
I got it.
That's so smart.
Lucero was
That's
hit in the
so
back of the
dope.
head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow. That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kinda weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame him for doubting it because there's one more thing about the weapon. One more secret.
That's so smart.
Bloody duct tape.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
And it's all small.
To Master! You have no right!
It's really cool. I think it's in, I don't know if they do it in 2 or 3,
The
but
titanium,
they
it was in the dojo. I have no
they
doubt.
act differently.
Well, it said the weapon must. It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
I missed it.
Back to Matt. You have.
Oh, I have to slow down time now. How do you slow down time again?
R1.
The titanium arrow.
Okay.
It was in the dojo. I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound
Well, it said the weapon must have been about as. It seems like an arrow would just be too.
So, like I was saying, like if the word was like, oh, the item disappeared.
You're right.
It'll start
It's just-
disappearing.
yeah, like,
one arrow
disappear.
would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another
Like,
weapon.
cool animations.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape.
You see,
The killer probably uses
They balled
duct
up the
tape
duct
to
tape and
bind
hit it really
multiple
hard.
arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that
Why don't you
proves
do it?
Kyoko went to
Just
the
because I'm the
dojo.
main protagonist doesn't mean
Right. That's my problem with like this kind of games. It's like Kyoko and Baki obviously know things. The ones you say.
It was Bucky, right?
Yep.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me. Does that mean she likes me? She knew I was being attacked. She came to my rescue? Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko, she killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
What? Byakuya should know better than anyone? What does that mean? Okay. Make your argument. When the body was found.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Okay, so the key was planted? Wait, Kyoko gave the room key to Byakuya, right? Which would mean that she didn't have access
Those
to
words
her
you
room.
just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory. You said I hid the evidence and then left the locker key in my own room, correct?
Oh, crap. I have to scan something, huh?
Yeah.
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly what I'm not the killer. You should understand that.
Byakuya,
Master would never hide.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the and then left the locker key in my own room, correct?
Wait, the key is what I scanned.
Yeah.
Those words you just...
Exactly. I'm not, but you should understand.
Byakuya.
Master would never.
There's proof that you... Is that what you're...
You stated you said I hid the evidence and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anything.
Byakuya,
What if Master would never hide something from me?
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
No!
Thank goodness that's the right one.
Y'all had a lot of options.
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in.
No, she has a way to get in.
Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us, an obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie. She doesn't really feel that threatened because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Was there some deeper meaning hidden in the what? If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of the school will stay hidden forever. So why can't let that happen? Okay. She's trying to trap Kyoko, but what can I do? Oh, look at this spinning thing. Pretty cool. I'm gonna watch it. Does it go all the way upside down? Oh my god,
Oh,
that makes me
let's
dizzy.
go. I know.
Mastermind's trap. The victim was Mikuru, and Kyoko killed her. What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it, but who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The mastermind's trap. If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do? I have to decide right here and now whether or not to expose the... Run away. Okay, that's not an option.
But, so, before you choose, remember I told you there's an alternate ending?
Yeah.
So this is where you can get the alternate ending. Do you want me to tell you which one's the alternate ending?
Yes.
Or do you want to guess?
I want the ultimate ending.
You want the alternate ending?
Yeah.
It's, pursue the lie.
Okay.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you. So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Kyoko is definitely lying. It must be because there's something other deeper truth, some other deeper truth she wants to keep hidden. Okay.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Oof. Barely got it.
It's wrong.
No. Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself, didn't you, Kyoko?
The secret tool that can open any lock in the school.
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school, which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it. So I lost. That's all this means.
Then, are you saying you really didn't, Kyoko? You really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you. But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
Good job, you got it right. Haha, really right.
You got it right. Does that mean Kyoko really is the killer? But something strange is going on here. There's something wrong with this whole class trial. Kyoko.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
Is everyone ready? Okay then.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Wait, so this would mean that she actually is the killer, right?
Right.
Because we, if it was wrong, then all of us would have
Would
died.
have died. Nice boots.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Uh-huh.
Even she's like panicking.
Oh, poor Kyoko. This would have been terrible. And that's how the crash trial of Mikuro Yakuza came to an end. I still have to wonder whether Kyoko was actually innocent or, regardless, the truth was lost forever. Even for me, I just stopped thinking about it. That was the end of Mikuro's crash trial, and in the end it would prove to be our last crash trial. Once that case is over, there was never a single murder at Hope's Peak ever again. We had obtained peace in exchange for the lives of all the others.
For Togo! Togo died!
Peace.
Look at the little jacket!
Yeah. Peace, but only inside the school. But peace, but only for us. That was the only hope we had. Hope, hope, hope. This is hope.
No! This isn't right!
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
The claim. Oh, that's right. I have to. Do I expose Kyoko's lie or not? That's pretty good.
Right? That's strong.
So he was just a.
I love that picture. He was daydreaming.
Yeah.
I love that picture of her holding all the babies. If you notice too, Yakugo was the first one
Oh yeah.
to knock her up.
Because he had the oldest.
Yeah.
All right. What happens if you run away?
I don't know. I think it says like you can't like
You
there's
can't
no
run away.
like, there's no time to run away or something like that. So yeah, that's cool.
I've made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here. Something that has to do with the mastermind's trap that Kyoko
Well,
mentioned.
does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room, that it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course, I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had
See,
to
that
push
line
back
makes
the
more
start
sense
time.
Yeah.
Makoto's the one who's like, what do you mean?
So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone,
That was a corner
please
cut.
vote
Yeah.
using the lever in front of you.
Voting time?
I got a B. Another B. Hey.
There you go.
Was there like S rank?
Now, who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? Hey, hold on! What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
That's Makoto. Hey. I'm the culprit.
I did it.
What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's all your fault.
Everyone, you're wrong. You got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone.
Good
Yeah.
job.
Yep, they got it right.
But no, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. The whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey,
It makes perfect sense.
shing!
It's the same. Oh, it's you.
It's the same as always, just like the other class trials. I'm gonna end it the same way.
Thrills, chills,
It's time for your heart
kills.
pounding public doing punishment.
But wait, why do I? Kyoko.
I don't expect you to forgive me. I
know
know
this
this
is
is
all
all
my
my
fault.
fault.
Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
What do I get? Oh, I get the same one that.
Yeah, Kyoko got it. Oh, you noticed in the opening,
Uh-huh.
it's this scene. Remember conveyor belt, Makoto?
Is it?
Yeah. All these combers.
Yeah.
No. Immediately he's like, oh god. And Kyoko was like, oh.
Run away is the option that we should have chose.
Psych!
There we go. Uh-oh. I'm still gonna die.
What's this? What's going on? Hey, was that? Yeah, it had to be.
It had to be.
This is...
Alter ego.
Alter ego? There's no stupid virus in that stupid guy. He must have planted it when he invaded my network. Damn it, all the hell, I don't believe this.
It would seem...
It seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning.
What the heck?
What was that?
In other words,
What I'm saying is, you shouldn't have underestimated us. Why are you talking all like you've already won? I barely felt the thing. There was a pinch, an itch. The stupid virus is gone now. Got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you never gonna see him again. Waste away in the garbage strewn pit in a way that's even better special punishment. But it's still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the entire world.
Is he gone? Hey Kyoko, what's the meaning of all this? Just what the hell is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay, we're not gonna be the ones shot this time.
In other words,
Now it's the mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you
What are
say?
you talking about?
so
You're soon enough. Very soon.